This is the book of Second Maccabees 6:6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. And in the day of the king's birth every month, they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus, carrying ivy. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews, that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices. And whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery. Call halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Wadash. All right, Shalom, Barakathan, to the hope of the elect. All right. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hope of the elect. So what I just read was Second Maccabees 6, from the 6th verse all the way down to the 9th verse. Okay. So the point going into the feast of Bacchus, but it also mentioned that it was illegal for somebody to proclaim themselves to be a Jew. Now look at the society that's set up now. Us claiming that we're the Israelites, what's happening? We're being demonized. We're being called terrorists. We're being set up to be placed in the camps due to the fact that we claim that we're the Israelites. The same thing happened during the time of the Greek captivity. Okay, and this is why I believe in Jamaica at one point the Apocrypha was banned. Okay, I'm not sure if that's still the case, but I know for a fact that at one point in Jamaica's history, the Apocrypha was banned. Okay, and when you look at it, it's very spiritual because Benjamin be heavy into that Bacchanal, which is basically going back to Bacchus. All right, which we just read about the Feast of Bacchus, which is a Greco-Roman festival of wickedness, idolatry, drunken revelry. All right, but they're heavy into that. Okay, and notice how at one point they did make this book where we're finding out the information about the origin of that festival. They made that illegal in Jamaica. Okay, the Apocrypha, and I know that because even while I was first coming into the truth, there was a Benjaminite dude that I knew, and I had mentioned him about the Apocrypha, and he said, yeah, that book was made illegal in Jamaica. So why? Because it exposes things. All right, there's a lot of exposure on Esau Edom in this book, in the books of the Apocrypha. All right, especially First and Second Maccabees, Second Ezra 6. We know Esau's the end of the world, Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. Okay, so when you see how it was all set up, it was illegal to proclaim yourself to be a Jew. All right, and also there was you were forced to keep these wicked festivals, man, and sacrifice unto their idols. They constrained you to do it. It was like they had a type of zeal. They had a type of zeal for wickedness when it came to this festival. Now, what you're seeing now is throughout the world right now, you have the festival of Carnival. All right, in a lot of different places, people are holding that feast and that festival. And Benjamin, the tribe of Benjamin, which is a so-called West Indian black man, they are very proud about holding this festival. You know, well, that's my culture. That's my culture. No, that's not your culture. That's the so-called white man's culture. And we know it because we just went into the history of it. All right. Even let's say you don't believe in the scriptures. You can go on Google right now and look up what's the origin of Carnival. You could go and look up what's the origin of Bacchanal, which goes back to the Feast of Bacchus, which is a lot of wickedness going on. Okay. And if you didn't want to hold these things, you would be put to death. And we're quickly coming into the time. Now, mind you, The so-called white man turns up the persecution. They send Vocab Malone. They send all these other demons for us proclaiming that we're the Israelites. But if you want to hold the Feast of Bacchus, oh, they'll finance it. They'll send police to watch over the parade. They'll do all of this, man, because they're okay with you tribes doing wicked shit. They finance your wickedness. They encourage you to do wickedness. They're the ones moving you to do all these wicked ass things, man. Again, what does it say in the 9th verse? And whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles, right? Now it's the image of the beast, which is this system. All right. It says should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery. So it was miserable back then for Jake that wanted to follow righteousness, and it's miserable now. Okay, now just to connect it to what's going on now, let's see what it says in Revelation 13 about this beast system. And this goes to show you it's Esau. This was Esau back then, the Greeks, and this is Esau now. All right, the Americans, the British, these various European nations that came into power. All right, NATO and the EU, wherever you Edomites dwell at will be the border of wickedness, and our people are fully given unto the ways of the so-called white man. So I'm scrolling through social media. I see Jake got the woman bouncing all over the place. They're wearing practically nothing, but then they'll say this is their culture. So your culture is a culture of whoredom and wickedness. What kind of culture is that? But that's Jake's excuse, man. Oh, but it's my culture. It's my culture. No, you don't know your culture. You don't know your culture. This culture was given to you. You know? And if you say anything, oh, that's ignorant, man. You can't hate on my culture. All right, but your culture leads to death and destruction, man. Black culture, West Indian culture, Latino culture, man. All of these different things have been given to us. These are just costumes that our people put on, man. Literally, they put on costumes for Carnival, so it's spiritual. But that's them putting on, the scriptures say those that cover with a covering, but that is not of his covering. The true covering is the knowledge of wisdom and understanding. But Jacob say, oh, we can't do Carnival, and damn, what can we do? We can't have no fun with you guys. That's how Jacob's always been, man. We want to have fun. The heathen way lets us have fun. Y'all just want to keep us bored, but at the end of the day, you have a simple mind, man. That's the problem. It's not about the fun or the not fun. Is that you have a simple mind, and the only way for you to enjoy or enjoy this life is so many things and pleasures of this life that the Lord gave us, but you decide to go the wicked route. There's righteous pleasures in this life, man, that you can enjoy: food, drink, things of that nature. All right, good music, nature, all of these things. It all starts with the knowledge of wisdom and understanding. But Jake has to go all the way left. If it ain't women dressed with practically nothing, they don't have one line of, over their nipple on the bikini or whatever the hell they're wearing, and all these these fancy feathers and all this bullshit. And then that's my culture. That's my culture. No, that culture leads to death. Women are supposed to be covered up, man, not shaking their ass for the whole town to see. But you love it. Jake loves it. And you got men out there, they'll encourage this shit. They'll go to Carnival with their women. Shit, when I was in the world, I went to one, and it was a whole lot of wickedness. I'll tell you that much. It was a whole lot of wickedness, man. The Wadi Halba Shemal Shai for taking me up out of that bullshit, man. But you have people, they wear the devil's horns. They're just embracing wickedness. You got full-grown men, Jakes, so-called black men out there right now for this weekend, and they put it on devil's horns, and just to catch a dub on a bitch. And the bitch, it's a whole culture of death that Jake is into, man. So when we come through, it's like, oh man, y'all ruining the fun. But let me grab this real quick in Revelation 13. Yep, this right here. Revelation 13 and 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live, right? That they should make an image to the beast. So now the so-called white man, just as he did to Israel, he did to all the nations. By constraint, he forces you to take the democratic way. He forces you to take the alphabet gang way. Now, if countries, a lot of them African countries, they're not for the LGBT bullshit, man. So their leaders, they'll come out and say, no, we're not for that. The people ain't for it. But here comes Esau Edom. You have to accept his way. And that's what he did to primarily us, the Israelites, but also to all the nations. You have to accept his way. You have to be embracing of sodomites. You have to embrace whore culture. You have to embrace all these things which leads to death. But he's deceiving them by the miracles that he could do, those left-hand miracles, man. Now he's going to be able to do a Neuralink, and then these people are really going to think they already think he's God now, but wait till he starts doing those left-hand miracles. They're going to really worship this man. Okay, Elon Musk, wow, you saved me and my family. I wasn't able to walk before. Now I can walk and do a backflip because of the Neuralink. So, these are all the things that are coming down the pipeline, and it all goes hand in hand. All right, so when we see Carnival, that's just another part of the image of the beast. That's another part of the system, the wine of Babylon. All right? You tell Jake that it goes back to a Roman festival. Oh, come on. Here you go with this. Here you go with this, bro. It's the truth, man. It's the truth. And at the end of the day, we don't give a damn if you believe it or not. Don't get that twisted. We don't give a damn if you believe it or not. But we're just here to warn you, get the blood off our hands. And you want to go celebrate an idolatrous feast, and here it is to talk about Russia and World War III Armageddon is right on the horizon, and you want to dive deeper into wickedness? Okay, be our guest. By all means, go for it. But when that time comes, don't expect to be protected. All right? Revelation 13. Yeah, this is Revelation 13 and 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. You see? He had power to give life unto the image of the beast. So that's going back to that ancient Roman system. And part of what they did was implement wicked sacrifices, wicked idolatrous feasts like Carnival, like Bacchanal. All right? Okay? And then, well, it really all goes hand in hand too, because when you look at it, you also had when we just read that they would have to bring ivy, right? And what do you have in them high-level so-called universities in America, which is another breeding ground of demons and wickedness? In them universities, they call them Ivy League universities. Okay, you get your bachelor's degree, which also connects to Bacchanal. It's all hand in hand. When you look up the etymology of Bacchanal or Bacchus, one of the words that it connects to is bachelor or bachelorette, because it's all tied in with the same system of wickedness, the same Edomite supremacy, left hand wickedness. You're getting drunk off Babylon wine, basically. You're getting drunk off the Edomite way of life, which leads to death. Our people have made a covenant with death. Okay? And they love it, man. Any chance for Jake to just go ahead and be outside with the wickedness? We outside. That's just Jake's. That's always Jake's go-to. We outside. And what do they really mean? We outside doing some wicked, foul-ass nigga shit. That's what they really need to say. They ain't outside reading the scriptures. They ain't outside bringing out the word. That's for sure. They outside, all right. But they diving headlong into more wickedness, man. Becoming more degenerate. You know? But they don't fear the Lord, man. But you're gonna learn to fear the Lord, man. When these judgments come, you're gonna learn to fear the Lord. All right? And that's why we're so blessed to fear the Lord now and to seek him while he may be found. To know about these things now, man. Because any one of us easily could have been amongst Jake doing this, but the Lord have mercy upon us, man. So that's why we're indebted eternally to Yahweh to bring out this word fervently, man. You can be amongst these this drunken revel. And one of the precepts, because you got to remember during the time of Yahushua and his disciples who became apostles, um, you had it was under the Roman captivity, so you had a lot of that. You had this drunken revelry, all the filth, and that's why when you go into Romans, the first chapter, Apostle Paul full well knew, and he was a Roman citizen as well. He full well knew about the wickedness of Rome and what it represented and all the wickedness that was associated with it. Um, so when you go into that letter to the Romans, he was warning them against all the filth, men with men doing that which is not, that which is not convenient, warning them about the wickedness, the filth, the abominations of the Gentiles, man, that would be going on in Rome. All right. And during the time of the Greek captivity, it got so nasty with Jake. And you can see why the Lord brought 70 AD, man, because Jake had a long history of wickedness. And there was filthy Israelites. In First Maccabees, the first chapter mentions that there was a bunch of sellout niggas. All right. And these same sellout niggas are out there dancing in Carnival right now, man, living it up. Eating swine and crab and lobster and all this filth. Okay. Let me read this. Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Right. If you don't worship this system, if you don't go along with this system and whatever America has to offer, they're going to eventually persecute us unto death. All right. And that's why the Lord will raise a standard, and the Lord will send certain angels to protect us. All types of things, man, because just like King David in his Psalm 1 and 2, that he's surrounded by enemies, his enemies can pass him about. That's the same situation we're in, man. All right, so we gotta be on point to the best of our ability, striving to grow in this thing every day, because this is the beginning of sorrows. All right, and it says that around this time there would be evil will be multiplied in the earth, and that's what happened whenever Esau got into power. First Maccabees, the first chapter, also goes into that. All right, after Alexander, once his 4 generals took over, Ptolemy, Seleucid, Assaeus, and Cassander, once they took over, wickedness increased in the earth, and now you have basically the same thing happen now. All right, you have different Edomite rulerships, different seats of Edomite power throughout the world, and this is even greater than the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire. This is the magnus opus of wickedness, the greatest work of wickedness, man, which is Esau Edom's beast system. And now he's gonna. And then what do we read right after that verse? That it goes into the mark, man. And this is the time that we at, the mark of the beast. So it all ties together, man. All right. When we see how, and when the Lord gave us the eyesight, man, it's wow. It just blows your mind how out in the open these things are, but how really blind our people are to it, man. And it shows that it's a divine force of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua that's blinding them to not see it. All right. And that's why them jakes that they be in Carnival, man, there be some educated jakes, so-called. They be in them Ivy League schools, man. But it all ties into the same idolatry, man. They're into, and what are they doing in them Ivy League schools too? The Greek, they follow the Greek fashion. They prefer that fashion to the fashion of their forefathers, which is the law, statutes, and commandments, the knowledge of the scriptures. You see? So they have them fraternities, sororities, they got the Greek letters. It's all out in the open. But yet, if you call it out, oh, that's some conspiracy shit, man, blah, blah, blah. It's like these people are too far gone, man. They're ripe for the slaughter. And may Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Kabadash bring death, destruction, more plagues, and mayhem to this wicked ass place, man. I want to see these people feel it, man. Because they're proud and they're lifted up. So the Lord is going to bring them down, man. The Lord is going to bring them to the depths of hell, man. He's going to bring death to your front door. All right? For those of you Israelites out there that are of the third club that refuse to repent, the Lord's going to bring death to your door, man. All right? You're going to feel it, man. All right? All of you that came against the men of the Lord, sought to have us put to death, sought to, men threatened to shoot at us. All right? different men, different women. Oh, I'm gonna have my cousin come through. He's gonna light the block up for y'all, right? You know, looking up your name and shit, trying to put your information out there. It's all good though. How about Shemel Shah got us, man? All right, okay. But the Lord is gonna have to protect us from Esau, from the wicked of our people, and the rest of these heathens, man. All right. So we gotta be locked in, brothers and sisters out there. So with that, I'm gonna end the lesson. Call Allah Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Katadas, Lord's will is edifying. Shalom, Barakatan, Shalom.